Hello, beautiful sisters, and welcome back to the Discover Yourself series. I'm loving this series so far. We are in day 12, and today we are going to talk specifically about gratitude. But not only are we going to talk about gratitude, I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how to journal, and then I'm going to tell you at the end of the video how I journal on a daily basis, how I reflect on a weekly, and what does my yearly gratitude journal look like. And this is the best part. What am I putting in the 2025 Dream Journal that is going to be a little different than the last few years? And this I'm excited for. So if you're ready to jump into today's topic with me, keep watching.
Break, you got battles to take on, but you figure it out, yeah. When you fall and you break, you got changes to make now. See the light at the end of the tunnel. It's right there, now just look up and follow. Take one step at a time, babe, I'm with you all the way. So baby, get up, 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 up. No, don't you stay down, 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 down. Now lift yourself.
So this Discover Yourself series is all about you discovering yourself. I see a lot of things going on the internet these days about the winter arc, which I thought was kind of interesting because personally, I've been doing this winter arc thing probably for the last 25 years. And sometimes things just take off with wordage on YouTube and it just like takes off. And so I've been looking into this winter arc and I thought, oh, interesting. And this whole idea of lock-in that's also going viral in the YouTube world. I love how God gives me the words because the event was called Lock-In Event that we started with, where we come together, get locked in, and grow and glow up for 30 days, where we're going to kind of go in our arc, our winter arc, get everything we can to discover ourselves, discover new tips and tricks, new routines, new habits, new things that we can try on before we step into 2025. Step onto this arc, we kind of get away and we go and we discover ourselves. If you've been following along in the Discover Yourself series, you will notice that every single day we are learning some sort of truth. First of all, it's biblically based. But that truth is going to help you believe and discover yourself better. Then that affects how you believe in everything else. It affects your emotions. It affects your mind, which then affects everything in your life wheel. Your career, your family, your jobs, your physical, your recreation. All of those things work together. And so I am hoping that you're discovering some things. And once you discover it, try some things on. Today, I'm going to encourage you to try on the practice of journal. Today's verse specifically says, 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstance, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Our application says, practicing gratitude is not only about recognizing the blessings we have, but also about acknowledging God's faithfulness, love, and presence in our lives. Being intentional in our gratitude will align our hearts with God's will, foster deeper relationships, and cultivate a more positive outlook on life. Well, sisters, that's what we really want. We want a positive outlook on life, and we want the favor of God and his presence in our life on this side of heaven. Okay, so let's talk about gratitude. There's so much to say in the area of gratitude, but what I thought I would do is share with you how to journal. How do I journal? How do I practice journaling? So the first thing is, what is your reason to journal? I want you to ask yourself that. What is your reason to journal? Do you journal daily because you just like to brain dump or write a letter to yourself? Some people write letters to themselves on a daily basis? Are you one that likes to do morning pages only and possibly evening pages right before you go to bed? Are you a one sentence journaler where you just write down one sentence about your day? Or are you one that takes 3 points and jots out 3 areas that you were grateful for the day? Everyone has a reason to why they want to journal. Some, it helps reduce worry, and it helps reduce anxiety. It just gives you that shut down feeling in your PM routine. And for some of you, you may say, I just don't have time. I do not do gratitude journals at all. By the end of today's video, I'm hoping to convince you that there is an abundance of benefits in learning to journal. And I'm going to show you how journaling and gratitude can go hand in hand. Journaling for me means reviewing my dreams and goals on a daily basis, but also in my daily planner, you will see how I implement gratitude at the end of this video. Another reason why I like to encourage people to gratitude is it's great for affirmation. Affirmation looks a little like the pages that you have in your reflection in this free journal. Oh, by the way, if you want to grab your free journal, head over to heatherbaxter.com. Right up at the top, it'll say free journal. You can download your 30-day Discover Yourself series. Wake up in the morning and start your journaling and gratitude right here, because locked in these pages, there's an area. See this right here? Yup, it says God's promise to me. All of God's promises are something I am so grateful for. So one thing that I do is I implement a daily Bible study routine in my life. In that daily Bible study, a lot of times you will see in the books that I write an area for gratitude or an area for me to reflect on God's goodness and his promises based on what I'm studying that day. So one area of gratitude for me is understanding the promises of God and being grateful for those. So in today's verse, we had an area just like every single 30 days we're doing. Every 30 days is a teaching lesson that can go in so many directions, but the backbone to our belief system is in our faith. And so every single thing I do is backed up by the will of God or backed up from a promise that God gives me. Well, in today's verse, you can see where it talks about pray continually and give thanks because this is God's will for you. And when we exercise God's will, there's benefits and favor and blessing. So I wrote down there, God has a plan for me. He has a will for my life, and I'm excited to show up and journal in gratitude what he is showing me on a daily basis. If you are here for the first time and you're new or you're a returning sister, you know that seasonally I have Bible studies that help us in all areas of our life, and it brings us back to an area where we can be grateful for what God is doing. Another reason I journal is I like to review. So gratitude is something that I do, and I do a reflect and review, and I do that daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. And when you step in to the Dream and the Explore workbook with me, especially in 2025, I'm going to show you how this just becomes part of your routine. It may sound a lot for those that say, I only do the one sentence or I just write 3 things down at the end. I'm just sharing what I do when it comes to specifically my Dream and Explore notebook, because that is one way I know that I'm implementing gratitude. When I use my Dream and Explore, obviously at the very beginning of 2025, so when we step off our arc and we head into 2025 together with some of these promises that we're exploring, all this self-discovery that we're doing, there are some things that we're going to look back upon in 2024. There's lessons learned. There were painful moments. There were healing moments. There were laughing moments. There were crying moments. But in all of that, there is something I know that I learned to walk out and say, I'm grateful because this taught me this. One thing we do is we do a complete reflection over the entire year of 2024, and we will do that in January. That is a time where I look at my gratitude and I really do one big reflection. All of that one big reflection really has been happening throughout the year, because at the end of every single quarter, when we wrap up a quarter, there's an area where we talk about what worked and what didn't work. And in those areas, there are things that I'm grateful for. So that's listed. So again, in quarterly. Then for me, when I take my quarterly, it gets moved into a monthly calendar. That monthly calendar gets broken down into 4 weeks. So what I tend to do in those 4 weeks on a daily basis, I have a habit of implementing my gratitude into my daily Bible study. Any Bible studies that I do or that I write or that you take part in, there is always an area in there for you to be thankful, an area for you to list your prayer and just have a attitude of gratitude moment in your daily reflections. So I love having that routine because it comes right in the rest of my pages of my morning devotion. If you don't do morning devotion, I highly recommend something called morning pages. In my planners, which also will be launching soon, in those planners, I have planners that are quarterly. In those planners, I have my top 10 goals. Listed below are just things that I'm thankful for in the morning, or if I don't do morning, by the end of the night. In my planners, I don't necessarily utilize the gratitude area, where many people will just have a little place where they'll write a quote for the day or they'll write some gratitude down in their planners, and that is fine. But for me, I don't want to repeat in different journals. So whatever I'm doing in my Bible study, I know that when I write Bible studies for women, every single day where they have their devotion and their reflection, there is an area for gratitude there. So that is how I tend to journal. Now, there are some days when I'm off of Bible study and we're not necessarily doing a full swing rhythm and routine in that in my journals, I have an area where there's 3 open boxes that I can choose to do whatever I want. There's some days when I go to bed in the evening, I reflect. I love to reflect over my day or over my week or whatever has happened. Those reflection pages, those evening pages that I usually do on a daily basis, that also ends up being a time of gratitude for me. I love to journal. I am one that loves to set up my planner for the next day. As a matter of fact, right here is the planner that I'm using now. So you can see there's always all kinds of writing going on. There's all kinds of pages. And in these planners, I tend to do a lot of just morning pages. What am I grateful for? Thank you for the day. Or I might do an evening page. Those both represent an area of gratitude. So you got to think about what works for you and what feels good to put things down on paper, and how are you using the paper to put things down. I'm just generating a few different ideas. I know if you go to Amazon and you Google, there's morning journals where they're just morning pages where you get up and you write and you just kind of write a little letter to yourself, and then there's an area for gratitude. Or you may be an evening page, or you may have a planner that does both. For me, Bible study has my gratitude in it. My planner at the end of the night, when I set up my to-do list for the next day, I'll usually either write a little letter to myself, or the next morning I may utilize the little empty pages that are in my planner because I like empty pages. That may be a day of gratitude just for the morning and the next day. So it's kind of like there's no perfect way to do this. Some of you are very creative and you love washi tape and stickers and photos. That is what I wanted to share with you. In our next Dream and Explore workbook, when you close out a quarter here, you're going to be able to close out a quarter, and there's going to be a couple pages for you to photo dump some pictures or some quotes or some pictures out of a magazine of thoughts and things that you can capture and remember for those 3 months that bring gratitude to you as you reflect back on the month. So for me, I love being able to put some pictures of family gatherings in the summer or winter celebrations, or maybe you met a goal in your weight loss or something in your health and you captured a moment. I want you to be able to put those pictures in quarterly. So when we show up and set up our journals in 2025, visuals are already there for us to go back and go, wow. And I love to be able to have some sort of rhythm and routine where it's all gathered, so it's there for you. That is your journal for the year. Now, what is the key to this? There's one key word. One key word, and we also talked about this word in the Discover Yourself series: productivity, consistency, persistence, endurance. One thing with gratitude, it calls for consistency. Again, being consistent, having the Dream and Explore workbook. We're consistent in closing out our quarters and having a gratitude list. We're consistent and soon putting our pictures in there and really sitting back and going, wow, this happened. God did this. And seeing the blessings in the healing, that is a really good thing too, because that helps you mentally. Also, when you stay consistent, you will really recognize the abundant benefits that come from journaling. And our cross-reference verse today, which is in our journals that we're working on, is in Psalm 9:1. And I want to close with this because this is a great verse, again, on being thankful and being grateful. And it says, I will give thanks to you, Lord. With all my heart, I will tell all of your wonderful deeds. How do we tell all of our wonderful deeds? How do we remember them? How do we capture them? Right here, sisters. We capture them right here and we can walk away. So if I go and I look at all of my journals, 25 years full, you're going to see gratitude lists, you're going to see blessings, and you're going to see the hand of God. And that is where I can say, look at all the wonderful deeds he has done. And that is captured in the way of having a gratitude journal. For those that are really looking for a gratitude journal, this gratitude journal is available over on my Amazon store. Heather Baxter, Amazon Bookshelf. Heather Baxter, KDP, Amazon Books. Whatever you want to Google. If you just Google Heather Baxter, my whole Amazon store will show up. Or head over to my website and that will lead you to my Amazon store. And you'll see all the Bible studies that I've written and also this wonderful gratitude journal. And this takes you through 30 days of gratitude. And I love this journal. It's going to give you journal prompts. It's going to give you a verse. It's going to say, it's going to have morning pages, evening pages, a time for you to check in with you. Be your best friend. Check in with yourself mentally and emotionally. I love doing this. And so this was something we did. Also, we had a monthly gratitude challenge, which is right here. This page is wonderful to make copies of. And what you do is every single day, you write out one thing that you are grateful for. And by the end of the month, you have this ray of sunshine. And again, why do we do it? There's benefits because God called us to gratitude. So if you want to grab this, I promise you, you will be blessed. This is a great place to start. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope today was informative. Again, there's so many different ways to journal and have a gratitude practice. The thing is consistency and to start. So maybe today is one thing that you're going to walk away with and say, I'm going to start journaling. I'm going to get a notebook and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to purchase this and I'm going to have a gratitude journal before I enter into 2025. All right, sisters, I love you so much. Thanks for hanging out. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you tomorrow in day 14. Bye-bye.
But let me tell you what, that's just